Hello, this is Mr. Buffington from Simplify Academy, and today we are looking at solving expressions. We're going to first define what is an expression, and then we'll solve some simple expressions, get into some multi-step or more complex expressions, and then we are going to practice. Expressions. Let's talk about this. This is a word we don't use all the time, and I don't want you confused by my math vocabulary, so let's talk about a numeric expression. Basically, a numeric expression is made up of numbers and operations. So an example of this might be 4 minus 3. You notice you have numbers there and the operation is subtraction. Here are some other examples where you've got numbers and some of the operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. You might look at these and say, wow, Mr. Buffington, I know exactly what those are because I've done that before. In fact, I was doing this in the order of operations lesson just a couple days ago. And that's exactly right. Basically, you're just solving math. It's a really fancy way of saying do the math. So go ahead and do this math. What's 4 minus 3? 1. What's 8 and 6? 8 plus 6 is 14. 10 times 3? 30. 25 divided by 5 is 5. When you have just a single operation like that, it's pretty straightforward. We are going to get into multi-step expressions where you've got more than one operation. And when that happens, you always use the order of operations to solve. And again, you might say this is review from what we've already done, and review is good, repetition is good, and repetition is good. Let's quickly review what the order of operations are. We do the grouping symbols first, then we take care of exponents, then we do our division and multiplication in one step from left to right, then we do our subtraction, addition in one step from left to right. This was a slide I copied from the order of operations lesson because I like to copy. There's the order of operations the way you might have seen it, and I don't like seeing it that way. Instead, I will separate the multiplication, division, and addition, subtraction so that they're listed as one step. I will often write them like this. And as I told you in the order of operation lesson, when I was growing up as a kid in a different country than America, this is what they said: bedmass. B-E-D-M-A-S. All right, so division, multiplication, the D and the M, that step, they were swapped from the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally you might have seen before. That's because they are in order from left to right. There is not a specific division gets done first, multiplication second, or vice versa. Now let's actually get into solving. Here is a two-step expression, or an expression that has two operations. What are you going to do first, division or addition? Well, multiplication, division get done first before addition, subtraction. So first we're going to divide. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And everything else stays the same. Notice that plus 7, it didn't change. Stayed the same. So now we have 3 plus 7, which gives us 10. Next expression. 4 plus 24 divided by 8. What are we going to do first? Addition or division? This is very similar to that first example because we do the division first. It doesn't matter where it's written, division gets done first. So we are doing 24 divided by 8. Everything else stays the same, 4 plus, and then we add 4 plus 3 to get 7. Our final question, 12 plus 5 times 4. We have addition and multiplication. Multiplication will get done first, and then we will add. Those are 3 examples that show you where that division and multiplication gets done before the addition or subtraction. Now, these ones are pretty straightforward, but what happens is we're going to take it to the next level where we have actually 3 steps or 3 operations. So when you're looking at this, 8 minus 2 times 3 plus 1, what do we do first? There are only 3 things you could do. You could do 8 minus 2. You could do 2 times 3, or you could do 3 plus 1. Subtraction, multiplication, or addition. We look at the list up top of the order of operations, and we know we do the multiplication first. 2 times 3 is 6. Everything else stays the same. I'm going to repeat that. a lot in this lesson, because oftentimes if we don't write out each step, we'll kind of get lost in what has happened and what hasn't happened, leave everything the same except the first step. And then we're left with subtraction and addition. That all gets done in one step, starting at the left, moving to the right. So we'll first do 8 minus 6, which is 2, and then 2 plus 1, which gives us 3. This next one, 13 minus 6 divided by 2 times 4. We do all of our multiplication and division first. So start at the left, move to the right. We first get to 6 divided by 2. That gives us 3. Then we do multiplication before subtraction. Multiplication is 3 times 4, 12. And now we will do our subtraction at the end to get our final answer. It is time for you to practice. This is our pause and practice section of the class. I want you to pause the video, try these 3 questions out, simplify the expressions using the order of operations, and then come back and watch as I go through them step by step. Hey, welcome back. I hope that you paused and did that. Let's go through this. In our first expression, the first thing we do is multiply. 1 times 5, everything else stays the same. Now let's move on to our next step. We will do adding 8 plus 2 gives us 10, and 10 minus 5 equals 5. In our second expression, we do division before addition or subtraction. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now, one step from left to right, because all we have left is subtraction and addition. 7 minus 5 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. Seems like all I can do is get answers of 5. Maybe the third one has a different answer. Let's see. With this one, we have division, multiplication, and addition. We're going to do all the division and multiplication first, then we'll add at the end. 36 divided by 6 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Now we're going to add on that 4, and look at that. Mr. Buffington was able to do a question without having an answer of 5. Yay for me! All right. Couple of things to remember. First off, order of operations. Focus on what comes first, and just like I did in the sample questions, write out all your work. It's an important thing, and it helps you to know what you did right and what you did wrong. I hope that video was helpful for you. Have a wonderful day.